So you were saying you're having some trouble getting around town because you can't see the bus numbers properly and the signposts and things like that, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So would you like some help with that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a device I've got here. I'm just going to pop this light on so you can have a little look at it. And if you just want to pop your reading specs on for now so you can have a look at it. So it's called a telescope, and you could just have a look at that. You can feel that it's quite light. What it'll help you do is if you just, when you're using it, you can just hold it up to one eye and just spot things like bus numbers and signposts, and it'll hopefully help you see those a little bit better so you can orientate yourself better around town. So for this device, you'll be wearing your distance spectacles. So if you want to pop those on for me, I'll show you how you use it. So it's quite good. You can just leave your normal spectacles on and use it with those. So let me hand you that. So you'll want to be using it with your better eye, which is your right eye at the moment.
Yeah.
And the way around you hold it is you want this kind of squidgy bit towards your eye.
Okay.
So yeah, and you can just hold it up to your right eye. And it might be more useful to hold it with the other hand if you're more comfortable with that, because you can kind of cover your left eye with that one. But if you find just closing your left eye, that works either way, whichever hand is easier.
Yeah, I like my right hand.
Okay, and if it is wobbling a little bit, you can always support under your elbow with your other arm. So that stops it moving around as much, and you might just see a bit of a clearer image.
Okay.
So when you first start using it, you're going to want to focus it, and you want to focus it on as far away distance as you can to make sure that everything's really clear, and then when you come to use it, it's quick and easy. So I'd recommend focusing it with one hand. So the way you focus it is you just turn this bit.
Okay.
So if you want to have a go, you can have, I'll focus it for you to start with, and then we'll have a look at the chart and you can see what I mean.
Okay.
So I'll just get that in focus. So that's in focus there.
Okay, thank you.
And then if you just hold that up to your eye and see if you can find the chart for me. Because obviously you couldn't read many of those letters before.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
And are you able to read the letters for me there?
Yep, I can see R, U, V, U. And at the bottom, P, P, U, Y, Z.
That's really good. So you can see how already you've improved with that, and hopefully you'll be able to use that in and around town. So I've put this on the board here for you. You're welcome to take this home with you to practice. And what it is just some squiggly lines with some numbers in between, and it'll help you with your scanning. So once you get used to the movements of the telescope and how little movements make a difference, you'll be able to go out into the world and use it properly, hopefully. So what I've done is I've just defocused that, so I want you to have a go at focusing it first. So you can use that to focus it, and if you just try and focus it with one hand if you can, but if you're struggling, use two. If you're able to focus it with one, it just gives you a little more leeway when you are out and about, if you've got bags or a stick or anything with you, that you can focus it still and use it still, even with one hand.
Okay.
So have a go at focusing it to begin with for me, and let me know how you get on with that.
Okay, I think that's in focus there.
Brilliant. And then if you find number one, remember you can support your elbow with your other arm if that helps to stop it shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
And then just scan from number one. There are 10 numbers, and if you just follow them in sequence and just let me know how you're getting on.
Okay, that's 2, 3, 4.
You're doing really well.
That's 5. And 6. 7. There's 8 and 9 and there's 10.
Brilliant. You've done really well there. So you can see already how quickly you're able to scan and how quickly you're able to see that. How did you find that?
Yeah, I thought that was good because I could still see, I could just see one number at a time. I could still see like a couple of numbers at a time.
That's
so
really good. So I'll give you this one to take home and you can practice that, and I'll talk to you a bit more about practicing in the real world as well and how we adapt to that kind of thing.
Okay.
So in terms of practice, I will give you this to take home, and what I'd like to do is if you try and emulate this sort of distance, so put it a good distance away from you, don't try and make it too easy, and just practice your scanning and everything like that, and I'd like you to do that every day if you can at least. And try with other bits around the home as well, you know, can you see TV through it and things like that. Just have a little practice when you can. And then when you feel comfortable, you can go out maybe with a friend at first and just see if you can have a go focusing it on something in the distance outside. So try something that's stable to begin with, like a signpost or a monument or something like that, and then you can try and scan for bus numbers and things and see how that goes for you. So if you're in a really busy area, such as a playground or a supermarket or something like that, there can be quite a lot of things going on, and it can be a little bit more difficult to spot the thing you want to see. So I'm just going to show you a little technique you can use for that. So if you can't see the object you want without the telescope, so you don't really know which direction you should be looking in, you're going to want to have a really good scan of the whole field. So you've got to do that in a kind of systematic way so you're not missing any places. So the sort of technique to do that is to go like this. So this is the movement of your telescope, so you're not missing any bits at all in the field.
Okay.
So we'll have a little practice of that. What I've done is along this back wall here, I've put something on the wall or kind of over in that direction that's purple in colour.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is try and find that for me and see if you can scan across and just let me know when you see that. So have a little practice, hold the telescope up, and just that kind of movement of along one side and down the other, and just let me know if you can find the purple object in your field there.
Yeah, I can see the purple thing there.
Yeah, brilliant. So you see how that's worked? You weren't able to see it to begin with,
No.
but once you've got the telescope in place, you can do it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a technique now for if you're in a busy area, like I said, a supermarket, a park, that kind of thing, but you know the thing you want to look at. So if you see a sign and you think, I know that's going to say something I need to know, but you don't want to, you know, reach down to get your telescope, focus it, look up and have lost what you need to be seeing and then need to scan again. So what I recommend you do is when you see something like that, just keep your eyes on it, bring your telescope up without looking away from it, and just hold your telescope there. And the sign you are looking for should be directly in your view then. So what I've done is I've written some words on this whiteboard here to kind of emulate these supermarket signs, and I want you to find the word milk for me.
Okay.
So you can vaguely see some letters there, I assume,
Yeah.
and you might even be able to tell what some of them say, but just to make sure, I want you to have a look at them, keep your eyes on them, and then bring your telescope up, focus it, and see if you can find the word milk for me.
Okay.
And if you're looking for the word milk, you can use the same scanning technique as before, making sure you cover the whole area.
Okay.
So do you want to have a go at that for me?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's right there. Yeah, I found milk.
You see how quick and easy
Yeah.
it is once you know the techniques to use.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant, well done.
Thanks.
So in terms of using it for bus numbers, what I recommend you do is when you know there's a point where the bus will be coming past, focus it on a point where you know the bus will be passing, and then you can hold it up waiting for the bus to come through, or if you can see the bus from quite a distance, you can just wait then and put it up to your eye when you see the bus. And what you're going to need to do is scan with the bus. So it will be a movement that you'll have to practice a few times, but it will get easier. And you should be able to do it quite quickly. You know, obviously you've been very good today at scanning like that. So as I said, you can just focus it on a point where you know the bus will come through, and either hold it there or just wait for the bus to come round and then scan with the bus until you can tell what the number is.
Okay.
So I'm just going to recommend a few little tips and tricks that might help you use this device. So I know it's not sunny a lot here in Manchester, but if it ever is, you might find that you're getting a bit of glare when using the telescope. That just makes it slightly more difficult to use and slightly more difficult to see objects, just when it's a bright day outside. So there's a couple of things I can recommend for that. You might find that if you've got prescription sunglasses, that you might just want to pop those on instead, and you might have those when you're outdoors anyway, so it's quite easy. You just use it as normal, but with your normal sunglasses. The other option is if you wear quite a wide-brimmed hat, that should cut out some of the glare from the sun getting into the telescope and just make it a little bit easier to see. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you this to take home with you today, and as I've mentioned, just build up the practice with that. If you have any problems at all, feel free to give us a call, or you can book an appointment and come in. If you're wanting any other device, you can do that as well. We'll do a follow-up in a few weeks just to check how you're going with everything and make sure if you're having any problems we can sort them out, or if you need aids for anything else we can look into that as well for you. So today I'm going to give you this on a neck cord so you can wear it around your neck, and that makes it really easily accessible. So I'm hoping that'll encourage you to use it. I will give you the case, but I'll put that in your bag today. But try and just keep it on your neck cord and put it on every day when you're going out, and just really get used to using it and knowing where it is, and then you're not digging in your bag or anything like that for it when you need it. So just to sum up again, obviously there's no batteries in this one, so there's nothing like that to change. Always wear your distance glasses with it. That will make it better to use, and you know which side goes towards you, which is this kind of squishy side here, yeah. And then use it with your best eye, and you can get used to the handling technique if you change hands or anything like that. Hopefully you'll be used to that, and supporting it with your elbow if you can. And just practice as much as you can, and let us know if you've got any problems, and let us know how you get on with it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. It's really lovely to see you again.
You too.
How have you been getting on with the aid?
Yeah, great. It's been really useful for bus numbers and things. And I've been okay with focusing it, but I think it'd be a bit easier if I could do the one-handed thing, but I'm struggling with that a little bit.
Yeah, it can be a little bit tricky to get in the first place, especially with a new aid. They can be a little bit stiffer. So what you can do is just practice this kind of without actually using the telescope. So if you're sat at home watching some TV maybe, you can just sit and have a little practice, like unfocusing and refocusing, but just without looking through it.
Okay.
So if you hold it in one hand, is this the hand you're going to use with your telescope? Yeah. So then this is the bit which focuses here.
Yeah.
So if you just take your thumb and your forefinger and just twist that the opposite way. Yeah, like that. That's brilliant. And then you can twist it back again. And as you use it a little bit more like that and get more used to it, you'll get quicker at using it and focusing it with one hand, but it'll also loosen up the mechanism a little bit. So when you do come to use it, it'll be easier anyway, because it won't be fighting against you quite so much. Do you want to have a little practice at that now while I'm here?
Yeah, I'll have a go at that.
Okay, so try and use one hand for me. It's a little bit about figuring out which way to go. That's really good.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might need to just like reconfigure your hands a bit as you're doing it, but that was really good.
Okay.
And you will get quicker as you practice that a little bit without actually using the telescope.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.